guys, how's it going? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a little under-eye baking kit. I saw this on Ulta's website, $18, 4-piece set, and I thought, you know, if this works, this could be a really easy, like, one-stop, grab-it-and-go baking solution for everyone. So I wanted to test this out for you. It's not my first time using it in this video. I have been playing around with it. I just wanted to give it a fair shot. Sometimes the first time you use something, you can learn a way to use it a bit differently the next time. You understand the product a little bit more, learn about things you might change. So hopefully those insights help in this video. But I promise I will get to a room tour soon. Let's face it, it's going to be at least one trip to Hobby Lobby before we get everything all squared away, because not only has the paint color changed, but the whole configuration of my room has changed. I've opened up some space and I may be looking at, you know, another little furniture piece here or there. And I've got a few boxes sitting around that I need to organize back into my collection. So I will be doing the room tour. I'm just not ready to do it yet. But as far as this baking kit goes, like I said, it was $18. I thought if it works really well, I think that's a steal. The 4 pieces that you're getting are a sponge, like a beauty blender sponge, but it's a little smaller than a beauty blender. A full coverage concealer, they say, loose setting powder, and then also a brush. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to the demo. I'm starting with foundation so you can really see how my skin is starting, and it's a pretty light foundation, and then I'm going through all these steps. Okay guys, I don't even want to talk about what time it is. All I'm going to say is it's not even 5. It's not close. And it's a long story. But you know what I'm kind of excited about? I tried one of those one-touch lattes, and it's quite good. Yes. Since I really want to focus on the coverage level and everything of the baking kit, the foundation that I'm going to use is pretty light. Well, I'd say it's like a medium coverage foundation. I'm using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. So I have this in the shade Buff. And I've used this quite a bit. I actually do enjoy this foundation. If you like the, what's the other one from Neutrogena? A little jar, a little Healthy Skin. If you like Healthy Skin, I don't know, I see a lot of similarities between this one and that one as far as the overall finished look. This one just feels a little thicker in consistency, and I do think it might offer a little more moisture to the skin. Hence the name Hydro Boost. It's got hyaluronic acid in it. I like the concealer that goes with this as well, actually. So I just kind of smear that all over, and I'm going to blend that out with my sponge real quick. All right, dark circles, still got them, still got them. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm going exactly by the directions on this kit. It said soak the blending sponge in water and squeeze out excess. So I did that, and the sponge is nice and soft. I really like the size, I like the shape, you know, it's good. Then it says apply under eye concealer under the eyes and blend out gently by tapping product into the skin with the damp blending sponge. So this says Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer. I assume this is sold in their line regularly. And when I was looking at this when I first bought it, I thought, man, it's kind of like a light peachy concealer. But this kit only comes in one shade, so that definitely, obviously that limits things, you know, for the whole crowd of people who could potentially use something like this. So that's not good. A lot of times when I'm experimenting with face products, I feel like the first time I use it, I use too much. Well, actually yesterday when I was playing around with this kit, I kind of came away thinking maybe I didn't use enough of this concealer, so I'm adding a little bit extra today. And then, as they said, I'm going to use this sponge to blend it out. The consistency of the concealer, it's not super thick. It feels a lot like the consistency of what you might get out of a like doe foot applicator concealer format. Maybe just a little bit stickier than that. That is pretty brightening, although at this stage of the game I can still see, you know, when I turn my head, I can still see some shadows there. Despite using a damp sponge to blend this, I already kind of feel like this concealer is grabbing at a little bit of the texture on my under eye area. Like it's not making anything look really better on me right now. But for coverage sake, I'm debating maybe applying just a little bit more just to see if I can get it to cover better. Just a tiny bit. I'm definitely debating the fact that this is being called a full coverage concealer. Then it says, using the damp blending sponge, apply a thick layer of setting powder directly under the eyes, allow to set for 5 to 10 minutes. So this is what they give you. It just says Ulta Beauty setting powder. So I'll shake that up a bit. Very light in tone, looks very similar to like my Laura Mercier loose setting powder, but a little more dry feeling to the touch. I'm going to dip into that and we bake. And I'm going to make sure I really bake with this stuff because sometimes I don't do a lot of powder there. I don't know, I guess you could say I usually microwave my under eye area, but here I want to legit bake. This is a baking cake. Takes a while to shake out. Now, I was up so early this morning. Normally Cupcake's like always making the rounds right after I get up, you know, asking for food, doing stuff like that. Today, she was just laying there like this can't be right. This is not even right. I'm not even gonna ask for food right now. But Eve has been sleeping through the night really well. Seems like the past couple weeks here have been pretty dang good, but we experimented last night with putting her to bed a little earlier, and she woke up quite a bit earlier. And then it kind of got to be the point of no return where I'm like, if I lay down for bed now, then I definitely won't make it up in time to get a whole video shot before the whole gang's up. So you gotta seize the moment, right? Seize the opportunity. This powder is so hard to get out of that container. I'm baking my nose too. Even though I didn't put concealer on my nose or my chin or anything, I'm just by instinct putting powder over those areas too. Okay, we're gonna bake that, as they say, for 5 to 10 minutes. It has been about 7 minutes. I've gone ahead and done my eyebrows. This is the little brush that they give you with this kit. Actually a pretty decent brush. Like I could see myself using this for highlighting maybe, or in a pinch like a little blush brush, but it's really soft and pretty dense. And they say brush away excess setting powder with the fluffy brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And we'll see what we are left with. Is the under eye area matte? Yes, but it looks thick. It looks thick and pretty textured right now. Up close, I feel like I look a lot older than I really am. And on top of that, I don't think this whole system really improved the under eye circle situation that much. Like, here's what I'm accustomed to. After I bake, like let's say with the Laura Mercier loose powder, I look up close at myself and I sense smoothness. Like that's the end game with this. So you want it to be totally smooth, flawless looking, fewer lines, fewer indications of texture, and also the under eye circles should be totally covered. Like if you're going to use a concealer that says full coverage and then you're going to put a buttload of powder on top of it, you want those circles gone, right? The interesting thing is that the first time I did this, I definitely used a lot less concealer, and I thought, you know, maybe I just need to use more concealer and then the circles will be covered up. Today I used more. It didn't really cover them up that much better. Whether I used a little concealer or a lot of concealer, it still looks equally like dry and textured, and I think a lot of that's the fault of this powder. It's so like dry and chalky. Obviously a lot of loose powders are going to feel dry, right? You know, they're a dry product, but some of them, when you even just rub them between your fingers or you feel them on the skin, they just feel richer. They don't feel like they're totally like zapping your skin of all the moisture. This feels like it just sucked all moisture and life out of the under eye area, and I applied a pretty rich eye cream under all this. So here I am back with my finished look. I've obviously done my blush and everything, and my eyes and lips. A couple ways I think that you can sort of salvage a bad bake job would be to apply some highlight and also some setting spray. Those are two ways to like bring a little radiance back to your skin, both with just brightening your skin color-wise, but also helping out the texture with some sort of setting spray. I love the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer Mist, but still, I mean, I look up close at this and I think this was freshly applied applied makeup. You know, it shouldn't look this heavy. It shouldn't look this creasy at this stage in the game. And I know as the day goes on, if today is anything like yesterday was, it's going to look worse and worse with wear. Because my under eye area is already kind of dry. So you go ahead and zap all the moisture from it in this step, and it doesn't go on to look too much better as the day rolls on. So I would say this kit is a definite miss for me, and that's too bad. You know, I was really hoping that it would work. I tried it with the best of intentions, but the concealer is just not full coverage enough. I shouldn't be still seeing so much darkness underneath. And then the powder is just so dry. If you've ever used powders that really claim to control oil, that's kind of what this feels like, and that's very, very drying up on the under eye area. Best parts of this kit, probably the sponge and perhaps the brush. I am still just so impressed with my Laura Mercier loose powder. I know it's more pricey than the entire cost of this kit, but it truly works, and it is hard to find powders that don't look so dry and powdery, and I find it works over really any concealer I want to use. If I want to use Tarte Shape Tape, if I want to use my Anastasia concealer, Benefit Erase Paste, fill in the blanks, you know, it still manages to look really nice and smooth, even if I bake and apply a lot of the powder. But I'd love to know in the comments section if there are any other like cheap setting powders or cheaper concealers that you'd like to see me try. I'm still open to testing new things and seeing if I can come up with a really low cost, awesome alternative. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!